Hi, I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. Couple things. I do happen to have a yoga mat. If you don't, just find a space in your house that's maybe carpeted. Maybe you've got a rug that's stable, sturdy. I just don't want you on something that's going to slip out from underneath you or a surface that's too slick or hard. I also have 2 yoga blocks. A great substitute for those would be 2 thick books. And I have a folded blanket. That's as simple as a beach towel, the throw blanket from your couch. Obviously great to pad knees, but also to fold up and sit upon. And if you find that you want even more padding, you're at home. Use your imagination. You can steal some cushions from your couch. It's kind of fun actually to see what you can use. Kitchen towels can be great. And once we have those, we will start standing at the front edge of our mat with our feet hip distance and parallel. And when we turn our palms out, we'll educate that. So take your arms forward, palms face each other. Make big circles in opposite directions with your arms. And notice that that's happening from your shoulder joint. Then let your arms settle along your sides, palms facing out. But there is an uplift as this comes from our shoulder joint. A little bend in our knees, a softness to the equation. And our softness in our stance that isn't locked into joints is true also of our whole approach. A little softness. Let's make it fun. And as we land here, standing in our mountain, let's land in our breath as well. Let's land in this moment as best we can. Truly appreciate every inhale and every exhale. Let that be part of what brings us into this moment right now. Not ruminating about something that's happened before, not anticipating what might happen next, but fully living into this moment. If we just do that, we have done our yoga. We'll do more. But if we even just land in the moment, that's our yoga practice. Using our breath to motivate our movement. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V, and then just exhale and let your arms float along your sides, palms facing out. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, arms along your side. One more time, just that much. Inhale, V shape. And exhale, arms along your sides. Adding on, inhale, V shape. Exhale, put a little bend in your knees and take your hands to your thighs. Use your hands on top of your thighs to press down and then let that lengthen from the base of your spine out the crown of your head. We'll exhale and try to keep as much of that length as we perhaps slide our hands down towards our shins, but the goal is not to try to get your hands close to the ground. The goal is to hinge at your hips and keep as much length as we fold. And then we'll inhale, rise, reach thumbs to the sky, V, and stand with our arms along our sides and our palms facing out. Continuing to add. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs or shins or ankles. Glide your hands up and inhale. And then exhale, fold forward. Place your palms so that your hands are completely flat on your mat and step back into down dog. But let's, for our first down dog, step our feet as wide as our mat, bend our knees, and then press into the ground, into your mat, until you feel yourself grow in your back body, the 2 sides of your body, and your front body. Your torso gets long. And you can aim arms and ears aligning so we're not struggling through our neck. We also don't have a bend in our elbows, so that oomph into your arms and that bend in your knees will be helpful there. Walk your feet forward to your hands. We arrive hip distance and parallel. Slide your hands up, inhale. Glide your hands down, exhale. Inhale, rise and reach thumbs to the sky, and then we pause with our arms along our sides, palms facing out. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs or shins or ankles. Glide your hands up as we inhale, and then place your palms completely flat. Step back to down dog. You can keep your feet as wide as your mat or hip distance with your feet. And then let's shift it to a plank, shoulders over our wrists, and go back to down dog think a hook in your tailbone, gliding your hips to the corner where your wall and ceiling meet. And then come to plank, shoulders over your wrists, and glide back, hips up and back, and a bend to our knees as our head relaxes between our arms. One more time, shoulders over wrists, and then plant your knees down. They're a little further back in space than if we were on our hands and knees, and we'll keep our toes curled under. What we don't want is to collapse in between our arms, so you can try that and then push the ground away and feel how that ignites musculature, which we want. Keep that action of pushing the ground away. Let your low belly draw towards your spine, and then we'll lower all the way onto our belly. And once we're there, uncurl your toes. Take your arms so that your forearms are parallel to the long edges of your mat. Energize your legs, pushing the tops of your feet down, letting your kneecaps lift. Traction your elbows towards you. It moves your heart through the gateway of your arms. So we've got this nice feeling of length through our spine. Then lower down, slide your hands back. Let's see if we can make that same thing happen in a cobra pose. So our hands are next to our ribs now. Your elbows aren't out to the side. There's no struggle in your neck. Lower down, curl your toes under. In one chunk, come to all fours. And then let that hook in your tailbone take you to down dog again. Remember, we are pushing the ground away with our hands the whole time. Walk your feet forward to your hands, arrive at the front edge of your mat, feet hip distance and parallel, slide your hands up, inhale. Slide your hands down, exhale. Inhale, rise, reach thumbs to the sky, V, and then we pause with our arms along our sides. We'll flow that all together. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs or shins or ankles. Glide your hands up, inhale, bend your knees, palms flat, step back to downward facing dog. Come forward to a plank, continue to push the ground away, bring your knees down, and now your belly comes all the way to the ground. Uncurl your toes for either cobra or sphinx pose, and then lower down, curl your toes under, come through all fours, and then we make our way to down dog. And a pause. Walk your feet forward to your hands. We arrive hip distance and parallel. Slide your hands up, inhale. Slide your hands down, exhale. Inhale as we rise and reach, and then pause. Arms along your sides. We'll noodle a little bit with this sun salutation. You'll see what I mean. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to thighs, shins or ankles. Glide your hands up, inhale. Palms flat, we step to our down dog. Then come to plank, shoulders over wrists. Continue to push the ground away with your knees on your mat and lower all the way down onto your belly. Here comes the noodle part. Uncurl your toes, take your arms flat alongside your body, palms facing down, and then it's not our chin guiding us into this back bend. Imagine that your hands are levers and smile your collarbones away from each other. It's the opposite of when we slump in front of our steering wheel or our computer, right? Let's try to keep that. It actually requires some musculature also to continue these collarbones smiling. Press into the tops of your feet, let your kneecaps come off your mat. Maybe already you're feeling that hum of muscles in your back body working. That's great, that's what we're after. If it becomes too much, take a break and then climb back in. If you want a little bit more intensity, hover your hands above your mat, but remember we're still not struggling into our neck, and maybe even lengthen your legs until they too come off your mat for 3, and for 2, and then last one. Make a pillow with your hands and rest your forehead on your hands. Bend your knees and just windshield wiper your legs back and forth. It's a nice way to release some of this strong work that we'll be doing in the posterior chain. That's a fancy way of saying your back body. Now settle in the middle with your knees bent and bring your forearms parallel to those long edges. So here we are in that Sphinx understanding. Traction your elbows towards you. We're not trying to make a big, huge back bend, but just feel what this is like. We've got our glutes working a little bit. We've got our knees bent now, which is different than that last back bend that we did. And we're still fighting the temptation to do this with our chin. Now Now lower down and take your arms alongside you, but this time off of your mat and palms facing one another. We're not holding on to our feet, although I know that's tempting. I would like you to either stay here and lengthen forward with your chest, not your chin, but your chest. Consider the possibility of lifting your thighs off your mat. That's a lot of intensity. If it's too prickly in your lower back, keep your thighs pressing down into the ground. And then let's release, make a pillow with our hands, windshield wiper back and forth, and let that part go for a moment. You might decide to do what we just did one more time because you enjoyed it and it gave you something, and for some of us because the option to hold on is not there. So reach back. If you're able to hold your feet or your ankles, great. If you're not, no worries. There's a lot to glean from what we just did together. Now we'll go forward and up with our chest, whether you're holding on or not, and then consider the possibility of lifting your thighs off of your mat here. If you're holding on, you might kick your legs away from you and see if that gives you something interesting. Mostly we are lengthening and strengthening our spine here. 3 moments. Gently release it down. From here, it's a child's pose, and I want us to be smart about this. So keep your toes curled under right now. Let your hands press down, and then come to all fours and let's negotiate, let's navigate. Now you could just sit back a little bit and get everything that we want and need out of this child's pose. I'm going to keep our arms in front of us if you don't mind. You might uncurl your toes and sink your hips a little closer to your heels, but that's not something to force. This is a counter pose to that long, strong back bend that we just did, and you do you. So you let it feel and look the way that it wants and needs to for you. 3 moments here. Come to hands and knees, curl your toes under, find that hook in your tailbone that brings us to down dog. Once we're in down dog, lift your right leg back behind you, and then step that right foot forward. It's likely that you want or need to help it along. Reach over, find your 2 books or blocks, and let those frame your right foot. Walk your right foot over to the right so we take ourselves off that feeling of being on a tightrope in this pose. Let's make sure that we don't have our right hip swinging out to the side. Let's let that swing right hip towards the left side of the room. Add some bend to your back knee, your left knee, and walk your hands onto your right thigh. Let's think about that really beautiful, long, strong spine we just found on our belly and use it here. So with your back knee bent, hopefully you can upright your torso a little bit. Think of making a little bit more space between this thigh bone and hip bone, and then arms wide out to the side, a V shape. We'll continue to grow tall through our spine. We're having to use muscles to do that. You might straighten that back leg a little bit, but I want us to really focus on our spine today. So the advantage of having that back knee bent might be one you want to continue. Bring your hands, possibly by way of your blocks, to your mat and make your way to down dog. And then either stay in down dog or shift to plank, shoulders over wrists. Bring your knees to your mat. Keep pushing the ground away as we lower down. Uncurl your toes. Let's do this one. Reach back, bend your knees. We'll not hold on, and we'll bring our thighs potentially off of our mat. And then lower that down. Curl your toes under through all fours. And then to downward facing dog. So we've got a little extra oomph in our sun salutation. Left leg lifts behind us. Step that left foot forward and feel free to help it along. Trot your 2 blocks to frame that left foot. Heel toe your left foot to the left if that's helpful for balance, which I think it is for most of us. Let's make sure we're not swinging our left hip out to the left. We have that hip hugged underneath us, swinging to the right, and then bend your back knee, your right knee, and climb your hands up that left thigh. We can keep that back knee bent the whole time. We want to see if we can continue to press into this left thigh and grow ourselves nice and tall. Remember, there's no agenda to straighten our back leg. And then arms wide out to the side in a V shape. We think of creating space between our left thigh bone and left hip bone. And possibly straightening that back leg, 3 moments. Hands come to your blocks or directly to the ground, and we step into downward facing dog. From down dog, walk your feet forward to your hands, lift your heart and inhale, and then fold back in as we exhale. Rise, reach, inhale, arms to the sky. And then let's pause with our arms along our sides and our palms facing out. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs, shins, or ankles. Glide your hands up, inhale. Hands to your mat, step to down dog. Remember that we're pushing the ground away. Lift your right leg behind you. Step that right foot forward, trot your blocks into the mix, help it along, do the things. And then this time, turn your back foot flat and work that right leg towards straight. Now note that I said towards straight. It may not straighten out, and that's completely fine. Bring your hands on your hips, from your belly come to standing, and once you're standing, make sure you have plenty of sideways space so we're not tempted to turn to the left. Arms out to the side wide, thumbs face down. For most of us, a fist bump behind our back. Some of us, a prayer behind our back. Think of our belly back bend. Draw your low belly in. Feel free to bend this front knee a little bit and just hinge. We don't have to go very far. You'll feel that you have to catch yourself and continue the smiling collarbones we discovered on our belly here in space. So our trunk stability, our spine being long and strong, is being challenged here in our pyramid pose. 3 moments. Upright your spine, free your arms to the sky, bend your front knee and spin on your back toes. Take your hands to your mat, maybe by way of your blocks. This time lift your left leg, step that left foot forward. Remember, you can help it along. Find your 2 blocks, turn your back foot flat, and then work that front leg towards straight. No agenda to straighten it out entirely. Bring your hands to your hips, firm your belly, come to standing. Arms wide out to the side, thumbs face down. For most of us, a fist bump. Maybe it's a prayer, but we don't want to have this rounded spine thing happening, so choose wisely. And then hinge, and it doesn't have to go very far. You'll get that hit of, wow, this is challenging to keep the smiling collarbones, to keep my low belly drawing in. No prickly low back sensations at all. 3 moments. Firm through your belly and upright your spine. Free your arms out to the side. Spin on your back toes and bend your front knee. Step back to your downward facing dog. Palms are flat. Push into your arms. Let it feel long and strong. It's a great counter pose to a lot of back bending that we're up to. And then gently, carefully bring your knees down on your mat. We come kneeling, and a number of us will pad our knees with our folded blanket or towel. Take your 2 blocks or books and place them on either side of your ankles. Let's keep our toes curled under right now. Once you're situated and padded, if that's helpful, take your thumbs, hook them, and take your arms overhead. Now grow taller, 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 and lean over to your right. Come back to center. It's like you're trying to pull your thumbs apart. Grow taller, taller, taller. Take that with you over to the left. Come back down the middle. We grow taller, 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 taller. And take your thumbs to your sacrum. That's that triangle at the base of your spine. We're not going to shove our hips forward. We will wear into this. Remember when we were on our bellies and you could feel your thighs potentially lifting off of your mat? I want you to think of going up and over a barrel. So we'll go up and over, and we let it be this upper body spiral, and we don't have to go very far here. We're not dropping our head back. We're letting this take place in a long, strong spine, and then just upright and pause for a second. That's phase 1. That's where maybe most of us will keep this. So I want us to feel our whole torso growing really tall. and then a little bit of extension through our spine. Let's hook our thumbs again and then hook them the other way. So it's the odd way. Apparently you have a favorite. Isn't that funny to note? Up we go. Pull your thumbs apart, lean over to your right. Come back to center, lean over to your left. Come down the middle. Let's place our hands on our sacrum and option to just stay here. And think of it as growing taller, 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 not trying to lean back particularly far. It is possible that you take one hand very carefully onto your tall block and maybe the other onto your tall block. We're still not throwing our head back. We're thinking of smiling collarbones, even if smile doesn't quite feel like it fits the bill at this moment. And then make sure you can breathe. So if I were to come by and ask you where you got your yoga pants, you could talk to me, right? This is not something where you're holding your breath. 2 moments. Firm through your belly, bring your hands on your hips, upright your torso. And let's move these blocks out of our way and come to seated. You might sit on your folded blanket that could be currently underneath your knees. Once we're seated, extend your legs out in front of you. Bend your right knee and step that right foot over your left leg. Maybe most of us will do this with a straight left leg. A couple of you might find it comfortable and or interesting to bend your left knee. So if this is starting to topple over, straighten that left leg. It's just not worth it. Let's wear this very long, strong spine into a twist. So V shape, and then turn to your right and take your left elbow to hug that right knee, or take your left elbow outside that right thigh as we twist. We'll inhale and grow tall, and then exhale and lovingly nudge our spine into a twist. A few moments of silence and stretch and twist here. Unwind, lean back so that you can free your legs up. You could give them a little waggle. We'll bend our left knee and step that left foot over our straight right leg, where I think most of us are going to remain. A few of you will bend that right knee. If the whole thing is toppling over, not worth it, right? Don't worry about it. This is not better than the other. It's just different. Left hand behind you, right arm up. We twist. And then you decide if you want to hug that left knee with your right elbow or take that right tricep outside of your left thigh. And then every inhale we grow taller, and every exhale we lovingly nudge our spine into a twist. And we stay for some silent moments together here. Gently unwind, free your legs, waggle them out in front of you, and then bend your knees, place your feet on your mat hip distance, and lie down on your back. Place a hand on your heart and a hand on your low belly. Take a moment, nerd out with me a little if you don't mind. Feel your shoulder blades against the ground, and then snuggle so that your shoulder blades feel flat against the ground. They don't feel like they're winging out to the side. You'll likely feel some stretch in your front body from that. This is a lot of the work we've been up to. Take your palms flat. Think of this as like the upside down version of what we did on our bellies earlier. And then easily does it, lift your hips up. This is also a little bit like the belly back bend where you either did or didn't hold on to your ankles. We're not holding ankles here. Bridge pose. Lower down. Place a hand on your heart and a hand on your low belly. And then up we go one more time into our bridge. So palms flat, lift your hips up. You might interlace your hands this time, snuggle your shoulder blades even closer to each other, and then press that interlace into the ground. For all of us, no matter what your arms are doing, let your tailbone feel as though it's trying to get to the backs of your knees. So it's a nice, long, strong back bend here as well. And then gently lower down. Scoot your hips to the right. Let your knees drop over to the left. You might enjoy crossing your right knee over your left knee. Spinal twist. And then come through center and scoot your hips to the left. Let your knees drop to the right. You might cross your left knee over your right knee. And then come back to center. And once you're here, place the bottoms of your feet together. Let your knees fall out to the side. You might grab your 2 blocks and put those underneath your thighs to support. Let's find our shoulder blades flat on the ground again. So snuggle those shoulder blades underneath you. Pause, let gravity do the work of a little bit of a hip stretch while we're here. Now you're welcome to stay just like this and make it your Shavasana final meditation. You might choose to bring your knees together, keep your knees bent, and let that be your Shavasana final meditation, or straighten one leg and then the other out and let that be your Shavasana final meditation. Your call. Let's give ourselves this 2-minute rest and digest moment of silence. You're welcome to stay here in your Shavasana final meditation for as long as you would like. If you're ready, give yourself a stretch, gather your knees into your chest, roll to either side, and then bring yourself up to any comfortable way to sit. Maybe cross-legged, maybe you sit on a prop. And once we're seated, let your palms rest up or down on your thighs, and let's feel these strong, long spines of ours. I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I look forward to us doing this again together soon.